champions where it's so easy to get value out of him, even when he is behind. All you need is a demonic for that vision, for those saplings to be annoying. Even if the damage is nerfed, it's still so frustrating to deal with. So I get it. That said, what's the angle here for Golden Guardians? First time on red side, what are they going to do with this counter?
Yeah, I think that's the big one, is like actually trying to swap things up here for Golden Guardians. Moving over to red side means they can get 2 of these picks on rotation, and it feels like, at least for the moment, the Talia has been what they kept going to, but in the hands of River, didn't have the best of times. In the hands of Ori, tried to make it work, but wasn't really there. So
wrong
themselves and say, hey, look, this clearly hasn't been working. Let's just try something completely different here.
And Talia is one of the champions that people have identified as probably being one of the premier picks for all of Worlds. I think you were asking earlier about, like, what can we take away into the rest of Worlds from this series? I think
that's what I sound like. Thank you.
Yeah, you sound just like that.
I mean, it's both American to me, so it
just all sounds the same. Point being that Talia is, I think, a champion you'll see a lot over the course of the World Championship.
Yep. Ultimately, I think it's a champion that can be very feast or famine, though. So maybe just looking to find more stability both in the jungle as well as in the mid lane for Gory. This is, speaking of stable, Ahri remains relatively stable blind pick. You know, a champion who can, in most situations, give you something, but instead, going for comfort. Seeing the success of LeBron on this champion 2 times in a row, they say, why not just go for a third? We have advantage of 2 games. We can afford to experiment more, and they're just prioritizing a support that's done well for them.
Yeah, LeBron has done very good these 2 games, finding a lot of flank angles, and even when he's behind, still getting good vision down. Even if he gets chunked out at times, he actually didn't really die, and so he was able to continue providing value for his team. The Orianna is the thing that I think is really interesting.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm looking out for here. I was curious to see if you get locked up immediately coming into this, but looks like Golden Guardian's a bit fearful of Isaiah and Rakan going into that bot lane, but I think trying to take an Ori here could be your best bet, because you saw how good Nuke was in the last game, but it also means that you just kind of get to go back towards bog standard junglers. You don't have to go for something that's a bit tricky in the AP scenario, and just try and get that comfort in the team fight, because it feels like that's where BDS are able to take it.
Ooh, instead, Jax, the blind pick count coming through. And overall, this is a champion, again, that can take over games. It seems like Faith is being put into Licorice. After the previous game, you can understand why. Did incredibly well in the 1v1. And obviously a champion who in general limits a lot of Adam's comfort picks specifically, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people think Jax is just a very strong champion in the current meta, and it was getting banned in Phase 2, so they want to grab that before that can happen. But on the flip side, BDS going right back to the things that have been working well for them. And Nuke on the Orianna had an incredible game 1. Crowning on Ezreal last game. Was doing quite well despite the early pressure that he was under in that aggressive lane phase out of Golden Guardians. Weathered it just fine.
Yeah, I do like the Orianna here, though. Sorry, the Azir, if they end up going for it into the Orianna, because a lot of situations when you're looking at what BDS are going to try and set up, it will be something like Sejuani or something going for Shio, some kind of ball delivery system, either on the Rakan or something else. So having that Azir to try and reset these fights is going to be great. You've got enough range that Orianna can't use that clockwork wind up in lane. So I think it'll set up nicely now for Golden Guardians to just slow the pace, try and let Licorice do his thing in the side lane, but still have a strong 4v4 team fight.
It was Gory's most played champion this summer split, so it's not like he's afraid of playing standard control mages or anything. He's obviously one of the most prevalent champions worldwide, so he can play it, and I think it's cool to see Golden Guardians say, like, okay, we've tried the zany champs 2 times in a row, more early game oriented. Here, with both the Xayah and the Azir already locked in, you can see them kind of saying, okay, BDS, we're not clean enough to take early game champs and just close you out quickly. Let's go with the option to potentially team fight you later in the game.
And there's a lot of great playmaking tools here, and a lot of good defensive tools for Stixxay as well, so he can kind of play on himself while Jax maybe fishes for a flank. They're banning away some of the champions for Adam regardless. Darius is going to hit the bench. I like seeing the Nautilus ban. Good call out. Want to just take away these reliable engage options from the side of Golden Guardians was what they put together. But the Lee Sin for Shio, you know, obviously a champion that I think every jungler can play, but we've gotten very used to, at least domestically, seeing Shio mostly be about facilitating picks overall.
I'm curious if it's something like a Poppy he might look at. Like, I still think, like, you come to objective setup, Poppy's very, very strong. She's still quite strong in the meta at the moment, and if you do end up giving it in towards the jungle, you got answers for. Azir if he's trying to dash away, Jax if he's trying to get in on top of your carry, so might be an option here, but I think you kind of want something that's a bit more engage focused for Rakan. You kind of want Rakan as your secondary engage, and when we look at BDS, it's been Sheo who provides that initial engage.
Has been the case. Poppy as a whole, though, against his team composition, especially with the struggles the Golden Guardians have had around objectives. Could have been good with the ultimate, but instead going to go for the Sejuani, kind of adds excellent synergy with the game.
Again!
See if they want to put attention towards the top side, or if Shio's going to remain focused around like mid lane.
I really just love the crowd popping off for the Garen pick. That cheers. They, like we said, has a surprising amount of fans in the Korean audience. Adam does because of the LCK casters, Cloud Templar, and people hyping him up.
Yeah.
You also have, of course, Wolf watching a lot of his stuff, and it's just cool to see this when you have fans of other places because you have a unique play style.
Yeah, I think it's a great call. It's one of my favorite stories coming into Worlds because it's just something that catches you off guard. We don't speak Korean, we don't engage as much with the Korean casters, so finding out that they've been hyping up Adam all year, that Wolf has been shouting this guy out is crazy. And I think for Adam, you know, we talked to him on Euphoria, he's really feeling special coming to Korea and feeling that welcome, and has to feel good when you're playing on a new stage on the international level for the second time for Adam, obviously, after his experience with Fnatic, but in here and fighting for that chance to officially be in Worlds if all other categories do feel like you're already there.
This time around, though, for Golden Guardians, they need to try and get the ball rolling early here, because if I look at this squad, I'm like, all right, well, who's really going to like try and face check into BDS if they fall behind? It's not going to be too pretty when it comes to those objective fights. So I think for Golden Guardians, trying to see if again River can have that control over the jungle and like just get in 2 lanes, probably around this bottom side, and see if he can affect it, feels like the way forward here for me.
I'm very nervous currently. I think there's inklings from game 2 of ways that Golden Guardians can make this happen.
What? Of course, Carmine Corbett. Why would they not?
Why not? If there's a blue wall, there will always be a blue wall. We have blue walls here. It's inevitable. They'll be there. Yeah, shout out Carmine Corp, obviously. Me and Masters champions and many former members of the team now on BDS. Here we are, match point. An interesting position to be in because I think it's all fun and games. It's all banter here at home. But obviously for these players and for Golden Guardians, it's now do or die, which is an interesting thing. Because for us, it's a regional rivalry. We're having a good time. But for 5 players, at the end of today, someone is going home.
Yeah, high stakes game right now. Do or die for the next 3 if Golden Guardians want to reverse sweep. They cannot lose another game, or it's the last game they'll lose this year. For BDS, it's a chance for redemption after missing out on the previous international tournament at MSI with a reverse sweep at the hands of Mad Lions.
Looks like Golden Guardians are thinking of some early level ones, but not going to be able to find BDS as they start to work their way through. Instead, Sheo getting a ward down just the back of Raptors there to try and set up. So let's spot out exactly what River's up to.
So I will say also, River on Ivern is something we had not seen at all in Summer Split. Obviously, Ivern, very popular champion. Sheo himself playing a ton of it. And it doesn't immediately scream of River champion. He is good at pathing. He does often play a gank-heavy style. But it's definitely not something where you often see him as one of the main initiators on the side of Golden Guardians. And to not have that in his hands, it is a little scary. And they're clearly going for a different playstyle. Sheo getting clever.
This is the Sheo from Scrims. The man who will cheese every game and flip it at level 1. Here he is once again. Not a flip though. Has the vision, has the setup, just trying to take away this buff.
Has the Hex Flash as well. He's going to maybe look for a play onto the top side after this.
And at the end of the day, this is a position that the BDS have put themselves in because of the previous 2 games where they can make really aggressive wild plays early game to just try to take over without not worrying.
Oh, Licorice.
Because why would there be a Sejuani here? Why would there ever be a lady riding a boar on the top side? Here comes the Bear Cavalry, and Licorice is not ready. There it is, nice bit of good. Get this off in game 3. First blood for Adam.
And this is what we were talking about. BDS is so unpredictable. You can say, oh, we know they cheese level 1s all the time, but you don't know how they're going to do it or when. And that flash over the wall by Sheo on this elimination match, immediately jump-starting BDS in this game is absolutely massive, especially onto Licorice, who was, I think, the shining point in some sense in Game 2, getting some of those solo kills, those 1v2 plays. Obviously, there was a lot of invades by River, but just immediately hopping on this Jax and putting him behind is massive.
Also the fact in bot lane, Huhi taking a lot of damage. He's still level 1. I think they would have liked to try and answer for this with River, but he's not really in a position to try and set things up here. So kind of your opportunities for Golden Guardians to respond to the opposite side of the map falling apart.
Yeah, instead you can see River going for the invade right now, trying to smite away one of these camps. Does have a charge, so can grab the potential red buff here, but I think for Sheo, you're very happy to just go vertical jungle and continue to maybe make Jax's life a problem.
Yeah, Jax though, Licorice taking the time, taking the lane priority that he does have for himself to wander in and place will work. The good news for Licorice is that because he has TP, he's able to return to lane. Adam with the Ignite doesn't get to reset and spend his gold. So it's mostly an experience difference that we see for now. We'll see how much easier the lane is for Adam once he can spend that first blood money. And Gory also able to get pressure. But Nuke once again Getting aggressive here in the mid lane. Gory playing on the edge, as kind of has been expected at this point in the series.
Yeah, really awkward. He wanted to get that wave in, but couldn't quite do it. Now he's going to have to teleport back. And it's a little annoying that you don't get the push back by getting the wave into the turret. Here you see this kill. And like you said, you get the teleport, so you don't fall that far behind immediately in Golden experience necessarily. But the bigger problem is at 6, when the Ignite comes back up, because you still will not have your flash available. Adam has his, and that's just like a repeat gank waiting to happen to get 2 kills on the Jax. Pre, 8 minutes is going to be huge if BDS can pull that one off.
Yeah, it's very tricky as well, because you talked about splitting the map and it looks like everything's kind of just going to reset, but you can't, Licorice just cannot be left alone around level 6. He's going to lose all control of the top side, at least on paper. See what he can do and see if River wants to put some attention up there. First resets now coming in. Ezreal getting a tier as expected. Maybe this is where Stixay and who he can feel a bit more comfortable in the lane, as Ezreal after first back notoriously pretty weak.
Yeah, I think that's where you kind of try and put your focus here. It's River. Dragon is going to be up, so maybe if you can try and get onto this bottom side off the resets that are coming through from Stixay and Huhi to make something happen. But Labrov is now mid.
3-man pincer attack.
Gory. Throws up Sand Shoulder, needs to dash out. He's just going to be forced to flash away, but overall successful gank for BDS. Not able to find the kill, but do get the flash. And the avenues of attack for Shio are limitless. I mean, he's got a top laner without flash, he's got a mid laner without flash that he can look to capitalize on. LeBron's still sticking around here. Ball attached. He's just buying time. It's just taking some of Rivers. But right now, the early game absolutely in control in favor of BDS.
Again, it's the vision control on bot side as well. They'll spot out Ivern as they come through, which is why Sheo is moving up here. Knew that he entered into that bottom side jungle, so they want to try and go for a play off this. Adam, don't think he'll quite hit 6 off this wave. Yeah, it needs, I think, 1 more creep before he does.
Also has a good chunk of gold waiting in his back pocket right now. He's got 2K on him, or sorry, 1.5K on him, 2K total. So can go back and get some items, and it looks like he's just going to opt for a clean reset here. Needs to be careful about that. We'll go for boots too, as well as an extra longsword.
You can breathe a sigh of relief a little bit for Licorice and Golden Guardians fans. The fact that this timing window will happen when your flash should come back up. You're still going to have to be worried because it is a lot of damage that the Garen can do, as we saw in the previous game, but at least the summoner disadvantage should be equalized out here.
This is what I want to see from Golden Guardians, though. Look at where River is at the moment. Huhi coming in on the backside, and the wave's in a horrible position. This could be a great play for them.
Q, healing coming in. That's 1 E used up. River not going to commit. Crowny, of course, still has the Arcane Shift, still another Battle Dance stack available. Very difficult lane to walk down the Rakan and Ezreal. And
I gotta say, BDS are playing this very well. You know that there's a lot of folks on the top side. River does not really want to go up there and try and fight that 2v2 right now. And so the side for Labrov and Crowny playing very respectful. They always have a ward in that brush, and they've done a good job of being able to avoid Huhi or River when they want to come in.
I think it's also the fact that Huhi ended up missing out on so much CS in the early stages because he got poked out. He's still only level 3 versus the level 4 and level 5 at the Ezreal as well. So I think it's been a bit of a disaster on the bottom side, which means you just don't have as much control as you would like, especially since early stage Leona is when she wins this matchup. And when you get to the later portion of the game, the amount of input that Rakan can have with his ultimate means that in team fights he can be so disruptive comparatively to the Leona.
It's definitely one of those matchups as well that feels like it's gone further away, as we see Adam doing his dirty farming, cleared the wave topside, moves into the jungle to start stealing away the primed camps by River, who's not going to be able to get this one. And if Gory wasn't back in base, I'm sure he'd be hovering around for a potential dive maybe. Just doing Adam things.
Certainly is. Building a little bit of a gold lead here. Good news is Licorice is still farming. He's got the flashback, as you said, and obviously we get later into the game, the Jax is going to be a big threat. Maybe can't get something done there. And I mean, it's a struggle right now for Golden Guardians. Have more tools. Their composition not nearly as reliant, although as you highlighted, the Leona definitely tough against the Rakan. Feels like you're always the one reacting once you're outside of lane, which removes so much of the agency of the pick. BDS just going to set their sights on the Drake. Take the easy, clean objective. Slow, steady, very reminiscent of game 1, minus the mistakes around the mid lane.
And while Golden Guardians do have much better scaling this time around, it's not full panic mode, quite like game 1 when you have this draft or this start for BDS. It is still concerning because BDS are no slouches in the scaling department either. They still have great front to back. Adam is the kind of weird Garen pick, but as you saw in the previous game, it still scales just fine if you can be intelligent about how you pilot it, and Adam is definitely an expert.
I think it's also, when I look at Golden Guardians, I kind of like their opposition coming from one direction, right?
Flash in, E, he's going to ult him the Ignite. Will it be enough? Trying to block the auto attacks. The stun coming out. Licorice ticking, burning, falling away, but the health pot keeping him alive. TP probably going to have to use to return to lane here, but Adam not able to quite find the all-in.
I think surviving that is big for Licorice, though, because as you say, he TP's back in, so it's essentially summoner for summoner, and you got the flash out of Adam. So now he'll get to pick up that farm, and he's actually going to be in a relatively okay spot. And now there's a position where River, with the Licorice having his flash, maybe they can actually make a play onto this top side as long as they avoid Shale.
Yeah, that was. I was just rewatching the replay there. I was wondering if Adam could have done anything differently, get an extra squeak of damage in there. Jax had the E up during a lot of Adam's E, and you do take reduced AoE damage during that time period, which maybe was just enough for Licorice to stay alive. Then he got the stun jump off after the ultimate came through, got to save his flash as well. So that is a lot of pressure relieved in the topside wall. Licorice is now not going to have to worry about the ultimate, not going to worry about the Ignite combo for a couple minutes, and that's why they can actually take away this Rift Herald.
Oh, Gory.
Or maybe not.
Stun coming in, but there's not really any follow-up damage quite yet. Huhi on the way in. Shio in no man's land. Nice sidestep on the Zenith Blade. The flash over the Q. Rakan now looking for the engage. Gory now could be in trouble with the ball attached to the wrong target. Gory walking out for now. Disruptive. At the end of the day, Herald comes through.
Yeah, I mean, nice job from Golden Guardians, right? You got Hui's out to roam up. Shale was trying to be a nuisance, but you had no push in mid, and no push over at the top side either. So you end up being a little bit late to the party. So although Gory was in a bit of a weird spot, there was just no follow-up from Nuke because he was under his own tower. So Golden Guardians, they get the Rift Herald, and again, it comes back to Adam not getting the kill, Licorice out to TP back into lane, and it's a Golden Guardians advantage off the back of it.
It was a big clencher, though. I mean, we are not joking around anymore with all the EU, NA rivalry stuff here. It's do or die, and that was one of those fights we've seen a couple times now where Golden Guardians gets the objective first. They started, but then Sheo had really good smites in game 2. Had stolen or finished off a lot of objectives, as well as punished Golden Guardians on the way out.
Silence ulti coming in. Licorice responding with an ulti of his own. Now trying to just run. Rakan on the way up, though. He's getting pinched. Between a Born of a Stein, the knockup now coming through. Licorice holding on for now. Azir on the way in. I think he can make it out. Gory, is he willing to burn anything? No. Locked up, and finally he will fall. Flail of the Northern Winds. Gonna find that one. BDS secure the kill.
Yeah, Gory, no ultimate there. I think if he had it, he would have walked in and just pushed those two guys off, but didn't have it. During that time period, it allows both teams to start pushing in the opposite side lanes.
Yeah, Grinding going to be alone. We kind of expect it when it's an Ezreal, but it's going to give Stixxay a lot of go coming into this. Plates and now getting the Rift Herald as well. He's in a great spot. Roam's coming through from BDS down to the bot side, but you can see they kind of realize we can't do particularly much. So instead, Nuke going to move back towards the mid lane. So Adam getting that advantage, but it's really going to be Stixxay who's the big winner here.
And this is something that, as Gory all-in, should be able to just skirt out of there if he needs to. During the regular season for Golden Guardians, a number of times there were some shenanigans up on the top side of the map, and Stixxay ended up quite farmed and could carry a lot of those games. It didn't work well in playoffs, and I think people saw internationally at MSI, Stixxay was a bit of a weak point for them. And so there is a concern sometimes about his laning phase and sometimes some decision making in the mid game, but come straight to back team fight, he's actually usually quite good in at least North America. And so this is not necessarily the ideal start, but at only a 600 gold deficit and your Xayah, one of the best late game team fight carries right now, getting a lot of farm, you're feeling decent.
Yeah, I think that is the thing though for Golden Guardians is I don't feel like BDS are going to be coming from one direction. It's going to be a front to back team fight. It's much more going to be a case of, okay, can we try? Oh, Sheo actually
going forward, caught out here immediately. Damage fallout. Gory now going to go for the pushback. Can they try to find one in return? No. Sheo tanking the tower will deny the play for now. River, how much longer does he want to push with this? BDS overall relatively clean dive. Nice effort from Gory to turn it back with a Shurima shuffle. But the Sejuani tanking the whole time is healthy enough to just walk away.
Yeah, no other support there from the rest of Golden Guardians either. Being able to overload him in the man fight. Gets that kill down, and now the pressure just keeps coming on the side lanes. Adam almost finishing off this turret before 14 minutes.
And if you can try and get, top lane turret down, get some pressure on towards Dragon as well, again, it kind of becomes a question of how to go to Guardian set up for these team fights. At least with Stixxay having that early goal, we have to push in a little bit on the spot side, has support, so maybe trying to make a play onto Crowny before this Dragon spawns, and with Crowny being as low as he is on mana, just may not be an opportunity for BDS to contest this early Dragon.
Be important to try to slow the Dragon stacking of BDS, or to take around control, certainly, as those objectives have been crucial. But again, Jeans slide in, lay down the ultimate, more than enough damage to finish it off. Downside, of course, is that Sheo grabs the kill instead of, but given that they walk away alive and healthy, it's not going to matter too much.
And some pure cope right there! Very happy to get that kill for BDS. Now 3-0 in kills, 1.5k gold up. Dragon stacking a little bit slower this game. It is up, and they're overloading in that. They're trying to find someone poking around the river.
Huhi cut out a little bit here, but they're not going to come in with maybe we're hoping to catch out Gory. Sadly for Stixxay, though, Recalls doesn't quite have enough money to fit an item. So walking back to lane relatively empty-handed and going up against the Trinity Force event was a bit frustrating for at least the 1v1.
I think you missed your opportunity there. As Golden Guardians, you had pushed with Stixxay and bot lane. Crowny was still in a position where he finished Triforce, and mana. I think that was your time to try and take the Dragon, but now BDS, they get the resets in, they're coming back strong, and This will be second dragon for them. And to the map, it's not like you're really in a position to try and cross map anything. You don't have control of it. Jax is pushed underneath tower at the moment. Like, well, not, but like can't really step up against the game. So the opportunities for Golden Guardians to make an answer back just isn't there.
Now, still waiting on mythic items. Makes sense to not contest that dragon, but does mean that BDS is keeping their foot on the pedal here, accelerating themselves to potentially 3-0ing the North American 4th seed.
Ooh, nice footwork from Stixay. Good bit of a trade there, but ultimately, yes, just playing for pressure here, and they are able to get the creep wave forward, forcing them to clear it out. Freeze opportunity there from the side of Golden Guardians. 2 Drake stack. It is a Cloud Rift. Ults are pretty important in this game overall. Movement speed as well is going to be nice to have, but probably happy not to see a Hex Tech or an Infernal.
I mean, Adam's going to be able to take this top tower at all. I'm trying to see what... I'm like basing my eyes this entire time to River. Like, what is he going to try and do to shut this down? But it just feels... Yes, he's getting some vision there, but there's not much that he can do.
Gods. Whatever. Skin, guys. Get it?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. He's got a 12 CS, 16 CS lead. I can do math. That's what River's up to. He's spent a lot of time running around the bot side, but they just haven't had enough pressure in bot lane to set up dives. The vision control by BDS has been very good, so anytime he does there, they quickly back off, and all he can do is steal away some of Shay's, and that's really not like Ivern game plan necessarily is. Like, you're not going to accelerate yourself crazy fast and be like, sick, to my support items. Waver. And
guys, I got redemption. It's so good.
It is really good, and it's really cheap, and that. But also, like, we need damage, and ours is behind.
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky path to navigate. Obviously, some of the defensive items maybe mitigate some of the upfront burst of a character like Orianna, but she's already had it a bit difficult. And here we are, 1,500 gold leads. No even top lane matchups in this series. You're only smashed or getting smashed. There is no in between.
Feel that, brother.
BDS, of course, able to take this. There's not really an opportunity for side of Golden Guardians to contest. Stixay finally recalls and finishes the first as well as grabs a crit cloak, but during that duration, they had already started the Herald on the side of
I think our biggest takeaway from this series is that BDS would have beaten BLG. I think that's really what my takeaway is.
That's a bit of a cope there, and here comes the game.
Wow.
Goodbye to Gory.
I appreciate Gory also giving me free escape. Burned his Flash Ignite on the kill, so scoop him out of there before the Licorice teleport can come. But Adam hopping off, and like you, BDS potentially the best in the world.
Yeah.
Thus far, you can me otherwise. This is the only series of play we've seen on this patch. They are winning.
Worlds, so
I think they're favorites in Worlds.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Distinctly. I'm just gonna say I put them S tier in my tier list to
Same,
start as
put them S tier.
Yeah, we put them S tier
Yeah.
together, which was a horrible choice. But it's paying off now, baby. Crowning in trouble. Feather pull back is gonna hit the roof, but there's not a whole lot of Rob now trying to make it safe. Stixay able to finish the kill. In there from Golden Guardians. What else can they get done with the pressure? Almost able to make it out.
In that time, BDS had dropped the Rift Herald on the top side, getting Nuke a ton of gold there, finishing that and stuff. It's nice that Golden Guardians could find an area on the map that they could make a play. They get that one. They'll have the push as well. Is that going to be enough?
I think it's actually interesting to see kind of the adaptation from BDS, which is how heavily they are playing around Nuke, but
Nuke. It's an okay TP in the end. Maybe he can stall the wave and try to clear it. The pullback, not going to connect. Feathers laid down, but they're holding that mid lane tower. They will not let G bully it down.
That was a bit of a touch and go for both teams there. Nuke teleport, not realizing that Licorice was behind him, but then Licorice grabbed turret aggro and didn't walk far enough forward to avoid taking all those turret shots, which forced his flash as well. And at the tail of that, there's a lot of sums down.
Yeah, I know BDS in a position where they start to push up again. You got Dragon in a minute 20, so with these resets, I imagine they're going to send Adam back up that top side to push in, get the Orianna to bot lane. But this is the play that you were saying, immediate flat forward. Adam is not afraid to use that, gets the ult, and gets out. I mean, even the swag points, the ollie out, like, that was kind of sick.
Hands playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater. He's just living his best life.
Let's not talk about Bali more, guys. Look at this play. Look at this play. Nice little chain
This is dicey for a moment, and credit to LeBron, really trying to get everything. Crowning and walk out with his life. Stixay, of course, has the flash of it. Sucks for him that he's forced to use it and later use his ultimate, but the ultimate cooldown not too long at this stage of the game. So they are going to grab that kill. A bit more money to the 80 carry. Again, can be that reliable carry force for Golden Guardians as we get later in the game. But Beats taking steady control of the map. Haven't broken down mid lane yet, instead setting their sights on bottom lane. Licorice in position to walk up.
Yeah, it does feel like Guardians are not exactly sure where the enemy is. Gory had pushed in a wave topside and could be hitting the turret right, backed off in case there was maybe people up there. Realizing that was the Licorice side that had been overloaded with Dragon spawning soon maybe. Quite sure. He has teleport available, so he could have been this whole time.
I mean, how would they not? They've just no vision on the map. Like, they've got one ward, the red buff of BDS. It's out of that there was a ward where Shea was standing at the that was on a pink, so they just don't know exactly what's happening on the map right now. I mean, credit to BDS, they've taken control over the bot side jungle here, and GG just not in a position to do anything about it.
Yeah, willingly sacrificing lane tower or trading top lane and bot lane tower so that they can get priority access to the Drake. Of course, I sympathize with Corey. It's the Garen rule. It's the oldest rule. If there's Garen in the game and you don't see him, he's in every bush. What bush has the Garen? All of them. At times.
Yeah, to be fair, he backed off, made sure there was no one actually up there, played it safe, and then was able to finish off the turret. So it does work out still well for Golden Guardians, knowing that they don't actually want to fight this here. They're going to wait the actual soul point, try and grab a couple more items. I assume trying to get 2 on Stixay if they can get there in time.
I mean, that is the big question at the moment, right? I think Stixay is in a decent spot, but at this stage, Crownie's coming on. He's going to have 2 items soon. The Orianna going to be massive in these fights, and at the moment, when you're coming in from multiple dingles with Labrov, potentially having a dingle, you've got Shale who has his flash up. He can try and come in as well. You've got something of getting that ball into the position that you need. This is going to be so tough for Golden Guardians. Stixay is going to be have to be very fast on that trigger finger with the ultimate to try and avoid some of these plays.
Yeah, I feel it tough to fight straight front to back. You need Gory to get so much damage done before anyone gets into range. The shuffle maybe buys some time and a reset similar to the ultimate, but it's very tricky. On a shockwave can just end a game. He finds the angle, nuke, all in. Stun not quite going to connect. Nuketown just walking down. Clockwork wind up. Ulti now coming out. Just a solo bolo. Orianna taking down the Jax.
Welcome to what Orianna for World, everyone. This is the thing that need to be worried about.
To be fair, Jax is also very far behind. 30 CS, 0 at the end of that one.
No. We do have Purple.
Burned his jump in at the start of that.
You don't need that. That's context. We don't want that. That's fair. Orianna's broken.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
I'm trying to give you the way out, man.
Blame the champ, not the player. You're right, Daddy. You're right. This is
Blame Freak, please. Not the teams. Not the teams.
Very fair.
Don't blame Freak. It's looking dire. That's a Garen with Black Cleaver Stridebreaker. That's an one-shotting a Jax, which you just don't see a lot because the opportunities for her to do it are rare.
Yeah.
You know, it's you watch North American League of Legends over the.
I don't.
Well, I do, and you get very used to it, and then other regions, and then you go back to it. And it's kind of like trying to play Starfield after playing Baldur's Gate. It just like it doesn't hold up quite as well. The gameplay.
I understand.
America right now.
I understand.
Yeah.
With it.
Are you telling me by any chance that the at least the Baldur's Gate?
That's maybe an overstatement. It's a step up. I'll give you Cyberpunk.
Are you calling your Bethesda?
I'm right now. Oh yes.
There it is. Nuke. See? The dial options are good. The romance options are good. The play is good. Baldur's Gate 3. Coming out on top of this one. Gory getting absolutely devastated. And this is looking grim. 0-4-0 for Licorice. And his hope falling apart. The knockup. Oh my God! That is make montage! You are fuel for the fire, Golden Guardians, and BDS are burning bright! And it's an elimination game, and it's tough, and it's sad, but God bless you.
I didn't realize this was the Dark Urge playthrough. Everything is dying.
This entire day is the Dark Urge.
Oh, BDS. So
the Dark Urge on this cast.
You could see Licorice wanting the revenge after the previous failed attempt. Gets the stun, does the combo correctly this time, but BDS having the inside track, so even though the teleport comes through, there's extra men here, and then just the nice charm on Labrov to make sure Gory cannot actually get the proper combo off. They end up isolated. Golden Guardians feeling completely desperate to just try and force something in mid lane. I think it can go their way.
I mean, you can see the damage that Stixay has, though. Like, he is trying to... And, like, shout out to Stixay. That was nearly the play that GG needed to try and claw this one back. Unfortunately, he used every to try and make it happen, and Labrov knew it.
BDS collapsing well, and at this stage, they can afford to make mistakes, but they're still playing clean. They've got a Baron buff to back them up. Massive gold lead. Every single lane is ahead. It's feeling like it's be their victory lap. Maybe GG can find an angle, find a pick, but it's looking...
No, this is feeling like BDS are about to punch their ticket to the play-in stage. The quick turnaround times, that starts tomorrow, right after. I think they have the day off.
They have the day off.
Yeah, they'll be back on day 2. But huge stuff to extend your stay in Korea. Just close this one out.
Yeah, and obviously if BDS do make it through, we're going to talk about, so just on the side of Golden Guardians, this was the opportunity to turn around what was a lack of summer. It's a shame for them that they haven't been able to show more. I think a lot of people were waiting for the Golden Guardians that made it to MSI, but that form has just not been present today. BDS outclassing, not quite across the board. Obviously, Golden having some excellent moments, but making a lot of these mistakes that sadly have let the game slip away from them.
It's definitely a sad ending here. It is still the best year in the organization's history. It was a big bounce-back year for guys like Licorice and Stixxay and Huhi, even Gory in extent to the many regions he has played around the world. It was really them rise up in spring split, have a great regular season summer split. Why this kind of sour ending is going to not be tuneful, because it was such a good year for them, and it didn't feel like they ever got back to those highs.
And again, for most people, it's it's how you finish. It's whatever form you showed most recently that people are, and that's not always fair, but that's just kind of often how the cookie crumbles. And again, there are opportunities. The game is not completely done, but based on what we've seen in the previous, BDS have been close and clean. They haven't been in a lot of massive mistakes around objectives. It was just the early game when Guardians were able to outclass in game 2. Right now, game feeling very heavy in their favor.
But this is feeling very similar to like the BDS we saw in right, where it's like Jail, apart from 2, having a ton of control in the early stage, going for some of these funky plays that we got to see. Nuke is, I really think that coming into Worlds, this meta just suits him down to the ground. His control mages, he's looking fantastic on the Orianna. For these guys, I mean, apart from to make it to Worlds for the first time, this is such a massive turn. I think that's the similarity I draw between Golden Guardians and BDS. Like, this has been a breakout year for both of these teams.
Yeah, even for Adam, getting back to the world stage, it was a very different Adam that a lot of people saw, being this newer version where, yeah, he still does really cool, crazy things, but with extra level, I think, added on a bit in terms of just game understanding to make sure it's usually working out more in his favor.
Coming through, Ezreal doing so much damage to the tower. Root will connect. Shane CC is there, but Crownie still holding on to the cleanse. Means there's not much of an angle. But yeah, a lot of players on this BDS team. First opportunity to prove themselves, or a second chance, really at redemption. In the case of Crownie and Adam to prove they've got what it takes to be at the highest level. And here takes them to Worlds. Remind us, it's technically not Worlds, even if it is in spirit. They'll turn it around, they'll go to plans, look to be one of 2 teams to make it through there. Twist stage, where the biggest and best in the world are waiting.
Yeah, all new format to show off, I think, for BDS. Based off out here, probably going to be one of the favorites make it through plans. They are someone to just, regardless of like how far you think they're going to go, just really cool blend of traditional front to back, very stable standard team fighting with splashes of genius in terms of game pool, out of level 1s and stuff like that. Like, they're very easy to cheer for and enjoy watching their gameplay.
Thin line between crazy and genius.
They end up on the wrong side every now and then, fair enough, but like, I appreciate that they go for those kinds of things, and they're not going to be a team that come Swiss stage, if they make it there and they start playing against the headers, the JDGs and stuff like that, like, going to have haymakers and strange things to throw at them. I think they're going to be very exciting to watch, assuming that they don't somehow throw this game and then 2 more.
It's good that you added the caveat, just in case.
Just
All right, that's level 16 Garen on his plate.
He's a big boy, Iron Elixir on as well.
He's a problem. So, this is the point of the game in League of Legends, just to break for you guys casting dynamics, where it's tough to talk about stuff, because frankly, nothing's going to happen until an objective spawns, because BDS are incredibly ahead.
It's not bad. We're all
right.
Almost.
Is this everything you wanted today to be, Mark?
This is like when I woke up, it was on my mood board. I saw what this looked like.
Yep. Okay, a little bit of CC, fishing for Adam. He's very fast, though. He's too fast. Cloud, Soul. Cloud, Soul. Walking away. Zoomy boy, full stack Deadman, just not going to auto. Keep that movement speed going.
Yeah, I think that was Golden Guardian saying, hey, look, maybe we can make a big barn spawns and then we can go 4 versus 5. Adam has no TP. That's the point, but that's kind of the Hail Mary they have to throw, because now they're going to lose complete control over top and mid, which means they're not really in a place to contest Baron. But I think at this stage, they're kind of aware that, look, a team fight is just not going to go their way.
Yeah, a lot of peel, so you're hoping that BDS at the Baron or one of these inhibitors will over-die. You can melt Asho maybe, or Lebrov if he gets stunned up while he goes in. Those are the only angles. That's not what they're going to give him.
Ulti immediately silence. The ulti not quite coming out in time. Stixxay just barely survive. Flash burn from the ulti burn from Crownie. Close exchange there. All of Stixxay's sums down now, though, makes it essentially impossible to contest these objectives in a full 5v5.
Yeah, that should buy them Baron. With Stixxay being the strongest member, no defensive tools, it means that if he does walk forward, she will have very easy targets. Same with Lebrov, so Golden Guardians probably just going to have to back off here and wait till at least the ultimate comes back up from Stick Say before they cast BDS again.
But how do you even do that? All you've got is your inhibitor turret at the moment, and even bot lane Baron buff going to be coming your direction as well. This is going to be a bit of a disaster for GG, because trying to contest any sort of pull is going to be a nightmare.
No, this is tough. This is Helm's Deep minus game. Plague loss.
There's no rider over the mountain.
There's actually just none of the main characters are left at this point. They're not here yet.
So you're Golden Gondor's parade. Nothing's coming.
They're trying to light the watchtowers and stuff.
Nothing comes in. The torch won't ignite. Like, there's just... It's tough.
Yeah.
Licorice?
He wins this.
Yeah, I think Adams just wants to wait.
Yeah, I respect you that Adams. Like, I could try and fight him 1v1 and chase him down or whatever. Like, realistically, they're setting up for the push. Oh, that they are a couple minutes away from potentially closing this one out. Break the bot inhibitor while Adams splits up on the top side.
It's important to have that level of discipline, at least for a moment. Going down very like Adams. Was that 50%?
I stand corrected. He is looking for the 1v1. Finds it.
Damn. All right.
Oh, they're on as well. All right. Okay.
BDS. And it was tight in game. Just back and forth, but game 1 and game 3 have dominant from start to finish. On the day, BDS feeling like the better team. 1 moment away. A few more autos, a few more towers, and a Nexus away from official locking worlds as the LEC's 4th seed. Dominance. Europe waking up early, annoyed that they have, but damn proud to get to watch this incredibly dominant performance. And now the BDS have finally broken into the base. Their time, they're playing with their food. They're stacking up the kills. They're padding those stats. And right here, in this moment, BDS have made it to the World Championship.
Let's go!
Kind of tough moments because you don't want to oversell it.
No, and you guys can celebrate. That was a huge crushing win over North America's 4th seed. They dominated them 3-0. They secured their national performance finally this year, especially for a group like this. Like, it's very easy to be excited. Go for it.
No, I just meant that I was excited minutes ago. We've just been waiting for that.
That's why you mean. Oh, I see.
Because we knew that was coming. At the end of the day, Rob, how does it feel to be better?
I came from the LPS, so I'm kind of used to this feeling. You know?
Did you win things? Did you miss this feeling at MSI? Did you miss this feeling at MSI? It feels good. Shout out to the boys on stage. Oh, Gio, Nuke, Crowny, LeBron doing